Tonight we confront a crisis spiraling out of control in Gaza, a man-made disaster that has left an entire population teetering on the edge of survival. The devastation here is not just from bombs and bullets, but from the slow, relentless advance of hunger, a shadow that grows darker with every passing day. Hunger tightens its grip on over 2 million people, forcing families to wait in endless lines for a handful of food, uncertain if help will arrive before hope runs out. Children, parents, and the elderly alike stand together, united by the same gnawing need. Food is scarce, prices have soared beyond reach, and families are left with nothing but desperation. Markets that once bustled with life now stand empty, their shelves bare, as the cost of even basic staples skyrockets beyond what most can afford. Aid trickles in, but it's nowhere near enough for a population trapped by war and severe restrictions. Humanitarian workers do what they can, but the needs are overwhelming and the supplies are heartbreakingly limited. Gaza once relied on daily truckloads of essentials, food, medicine, clean water. Now that lifeline is nearly severed, with only a trickle of aid making it through, while the rest of the world watches in anguish. In the north, families grind animal feed into flour, using whatever they can find to stave off hunger. The act is both a testament to their resilience and a sign of just how dire the situation has become. People scavenge for weeds and wild plants, searching through rubble for anything edible, society's fabric torn by the pursuit of a single meal. The struggle for food has become a daily battle for survival. Clean water is rare, fueling malnutrition and disease, especially among children. Mothers watch helplessly as their children grow weaker, knowing that safe water and nourishing food are slipping further out of reach. The infrastructure to deliver aid, roads, vehicles, warehouses, has been shattered, making relief almost impossible. Every delivery is a race against time and danger as workers risk their lives to bring hope to those in need. Gaza's people face a nightmare: bombardment from above, famine on the ground, and hope slipping further away each day. In the midst of destruction, they cling to each other, determined to survive against all odds even as the shadow of hunger deepens. The numbers coming out of Gaza are staggering, almost impossible to comprehend at first glance. Behind every statistic lies a story, a family, a life interrupted by forces beyond their control. But the reality on the ground is even more devastating than any figure can convey. The pain and loss are etched into the faces of those left behind, their grief a silent testimony to the world. As of July 28, 2025, 147 people, 88 of them children, have died not from bombs or bullets but from starvation and dehydration. These are deaths that could have been prevented, lives lost to a lack of basic necessities. Every death is more than a number. It is a family shattered, a future erased, and a profound failure of humanity to protect its most vulnerable. For every life lost, countless others are wasting away from severe malnutrition. Children in particular face a lifetime of consequences. Many may never recover physically or mentally from the trauma and deprivation they endure. Hospitals are overwhelmed, their corridors filled with the sick and starving. Medical staff work tirelessly, but without enough food, medicine, or supplies, they are forced to make impossible choices about who to help. The search for food has become deadly. Families must risk venturing out into dangerous streets, facing the threat of bombings, or remain in their shelters and watch their loved ones starve. Since dawn, Israeli attacks have killed at least 43 more Palestinians, compounding the terror and deepening the sense of hopelessness that hangs over Gaza. For millions trapped in this crisis, survival is a daily, impossible choice between hunger and violence. Each day is a struggle to find hope amid devastation, and to hold on to life in the face of overwhelming odds. The United Nations has warned for months. Famine in Gaza is imminent unless aid flows freely. UN officials say the current trickle of supplies is a drop in the ocean. Massive, sustained deliveries are needed. Israeli restrictions and ongoing attacks block humanitarian work, crippling agencies like UNRWA. Piecemeal solutions won't stop starvation. Only full, unimpeded access can. UN Secretary-General Guterres calls this hunger as a weapon of war, a direct result of policy, not chance. The UN's message is urgent: enforce humanitarian law and open Gaza to life-saving aid. In Gaza, even seeking food can be fatal. Israeli forces have repeatedly opened fire on civilians waiting for aid, turning hope into terror. Of 43 Palestinians killed today, 9 were simply trying to get food. These attacks force families to choose, risk being shot or starve in hiding. Aid groups now face impossible choices, as distribution points become targets. Promised ceasefires offer little safety, violence continues even during supposed pauses. The act of seeking help has become a deadly gamble, deepening the hunger crisis. The world watches Gaza's catastrophe unfold in real time, with images of devastation and heartbreak broadcast into living rooms across the globe. Yet despite the outpouring of concern and countless statements of solidarity, meaningful action continues to lag far behind the urgent needs on the ground. The United Nations and humanitarian agencies are raising their voices, demanding not just a ceasefire, but also the immediate opening of border crossings and the removal of crippling restrictions that are strangling relief efforts and putting countless lives at risk. The violence is no longer contained. Recent attacks in the West Bank highlight how the conflict's reach is expanding, threatening to destabilize the entire region and deepen the suffering of innocent civilians. UN leaders are sounding the alarm, insisting that hunger must never be used as a weapon of war. They warn that denying food and aid to vulnerable populations is a violation of basic human rights and international law. Meanwhile, Israeli officials threaten further escalation, signaling that even more suffering and destruction could be on the horizon for those already caught in the crossfire. This moment is a profound test of global values. Children are dying in hospital beds, civilians are targeted, and desperately needed aid is blocked at the borders, leaving entire communities in peril. Only decisive, united international action can restore hope and save lives in Gaza. Anything less is not just a policy failure, but a moral one that will be remembered for generations.